We have uncovered wonders undreamt by our ancestors who first speculated on the nature of those wandering lights in the night sky. We've crossed the solar system and sent ships to the stars. But we continue to search. We can't help it. A central element of the human future lies far beyond the Earth. If we crave some cosmic purpose, then let us find ourselves a worthy goal.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We are live, and this is it. Today is the day we have all been waiting for, so let's get excited. I think you all can do a little better than that. Let me hear you again. There you go. There you go. We are less than an hour away from the moment we have been working toward for 2 decades, the reveal of the first science images from the James Webb Space Telescope. Now that's worthy of another round of applause. For the past 6 months, the Webb team worked tirelessly to get the telescope ready for this very moment. In those 6 months, the team unfurled Webb's giant sun shield, deployed and perfectly aligned its gold-coated mirrors, and cooled the instruments to their near absolute zero operating temperatures. And can you believe all of that was done while navigating the telescope to its ideal position 1 million miles away from Earth? Come on, guys. To everyone in this room, staff, supporters, scientists, and engineers, and all the other professions that contributed to us being here today, welcome and thank you. It may have taken us more than 20 years to get here, but after you see these images, you'll know that all that time and hard work was well worth it. Congratulations. I'm Michelle Jones. I'm the Chief of Communications here at NASA Goddard. And to celebrate this incredible moment in history, some of the lead Webb project members, elected officials, and heads of agencies from around the world want to personally thank you, the team, the people who made the impossible possible. I see a lot of familiar faces in the room who have contributed to the success of the Webb Space Telescope. This was a partnership between NASA, international, corporate, and university partners. And many of those partners are here with us today. I understand we have representatives from the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, Ariane Space, Lockheed Martin, and the Space Telescope Science Institute. I'd also like to acknowledge the Greenbelt City Council and the Maryland General Assembly. It's a true pleasure to have all of you here for this historic moment. To start things off, we have my boss, Goddard Center Director, Dennis Andrusic, who presided during the final years and all the way through launch. Dennis, come on up.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. What do you think about the cheerleaders coming into the building? Oh my goodness, thank you all. That was just absolutely awesome. You know, before I get into some of the prepared remarks, I just want to mention that, you know, there's an old proverb that says, may you live in interesting times. And I'll tell you what, my friends, these are interesting times. The images you're about to see today will blow you away. They are just so spectacular. Things that I had never even dreamed that we'd be able to see are here before us. And I'll tell you what, it has just been a fantastic, fantastic journey that's gotten us to where we are today. By the way, if you're seeing my name in writing, it looks so much worse than it is in reality. The last name is pronounced like the boy's name Andrew, who is sick. You run it together, you have Andrewsick. It's that simple. It looks so much worse when you see the spelling. So anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, whether it's in person, on NASA TV, or in any other media outlet that you've chosen to be able to view today's events. And speaking of viewing the events of today, we had the distinct honor of Administrator Nelson, Jane Rigby, Thomas Zurbuchen, Greg Robinson, Nancy Levison. Where's Thomas? I know he's here. There he is, Thomas. To present some of the images last night. The president and the vice president were so excited with the great news and what they were seeing that the president actually took the opportunity to thank Jane Rigby, the scientist we'll be hearing from at 10:30, by calling her mother and leaving a voicemail message about what a great deal her daughter was doing to improve our knowledge of the universe. And that was such a touching thing. It really meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to Jane. And I think that talks about what the administration feels about NASA, that he was willing to take that time. And I know I'm about out of time. So let me get back into the program. Again, pleased that we have not just some of the dignitaries that Michelle mentioned. We also have Northrop Grumman, Scott Willoughby's here. So thank you all for coming. We also have the Webb family in the audience. Jim and Barb Webb are right over here. Raise your hands. And their guest, Kaleem, sorry, Kaleem. I've worked with Kaleem at NASA headquarters. You'd think I would be able to get this right. Kaleem Oluche, thank you for joining us today. Well, the entire NASA, James Webb Space Telescope has been 2.5 decades in the making. And as the director of this fabulous NASA center, I'm extremely proud of all of the employees, as this entire project has been one of the largest collective efforts in our center's history. And I'd like to assure you that it has been truly a collective success. We've had many engineers and scientists supporting the James Webb Space Telescope. And it is also becoming just a scientific, it's been an engineering marvel, it's about to become a scientific marvel. But we haven't done it alone. As Michelle mentioned, we've been doing it with partners, and it's those partners that have helped make Webb successful. Across the NASA community, Johnson and JPL, Kennedy, and other centers, with industry, as was previously mentioned, and I'm over time, so I'll start to shorten on that. But I will just say, I'm up before you as a kind of a NASA bureaucrat, as the Goddard Center director, but at heart, I am still a NASA geek, still an engineer. A launch never gets old, and the science gets even better with each passing mission. Thank you all for coming, and let's get on to the next presenters.
Thank you, Dennis. A great project like Webb takes great leadership, and today we have someone who knows what it means to be a leader. Not only was he a United States Senator, he was also a payload specialist on the Space Shuttle Mission 61C in 1986. Everyone, please put your hands together for NASA Administrator Bill Nelson.
I didn't know I was coming to a pep rally today. But that's all the better. And you've got a lot to be rallying for. And you should have seen the president and the vice president last night. I mean, they were like kids. And they asked just a million questions about a lot of things. And this is all because of you. It's all because of that team that is out there, that over decades, this project has come to fruition. It tells us something about NASA's unmatched ingenuity, where we make the impossible possible. And it's not going to stop, because this telescope's going to keep, like the Energizer Bunny, because of the Ariane rocket putting it on a perfect course. And so it's got fuel for 20 years now. And if that were not enough, this fall, we're going to launch the largest rocket ever, and we're going back to the moon in preparation, and we're going to Mars. Now, this morning, folks across this planet are going to see the images captured by this telescope. And every image is a new discovery, and each will give humanity a view of the universe that we've never seen before. You're going to see the formation of stars. You're going to see devouring black holes. It's going to reveal all of this. This telescope, because of infrared, is going to be able to penetrate through the dust clouds, and it's going to see light from faraway corners of this universe. Now get this, because of a NASA scientist here at Goddard who got the Nobel Prize, Dr. Mather, he determined that the universe was 13.8 billion years. Okay, this telescope, the images you're going to see today, exceed looking back 13 billion years. And then we will look back to as far as 13.5 billion years. Think about that. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. And that light has been traveling for 13.5 billion years, only about a few hundred million years after the beginning. That's the threshold that we are crossing. And it's an example of what NASA can achieve. But we don't do it alone. We do it with industry. We do it internationally. In this specific case, our partners, the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency. And by the way, we are now going to be determining things that we don't even know what the questions are that we ought to ask. And so it's one of these great engineering feats, not just for us, but for humanity, for planet Earth, for the citizens of planet Earth. And so there have been setbacks along the way, but because of the perseverance, here we are today. And it's these engineers and scientists and innovators that have poured their life's passion into this work, and it's now come to fruition. And it's progress like this that drives us forward, and it gives us inspiration. Our rockets run on fuel, but inspiration is the fuel that drives NASA, and indeed drives humanity. So this novel innovation that made Webb possible is exactly why NASA and why humanity continues to push the envelope, as the test pilots say. Push the edge of the envelope. NASA's no stranger to first steps, and as we enter this new era of space flight and discovery, we need to be bold. We have to take risk, but the reward is worth the risk. And this is proof of that. It represents the largest international space science program. It collaborates internationally. Now, Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you to share messages from our international partners.
Thank you so much, Administrator. The mission would not be as successful as it is today without the teamwork and contributions from our mission partners, the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency. We are pleased to share with you a special video message from ESA's Director General, Dr. Joseph Aschbacher, and their Director of Science, Gunther Hasinga.
The James Webb Space Telescope is such a fantastic opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity which we have here, and we are so excited, both Günther and myself, on this first data release. It will really change the understanding of our universe. But before I hand over to Günther, just one word. This is also a symbol of international cooperation. The partnership we have with NASA is outstanding. It's really exciting, but really fantastic, and also with CSA, the Canadian Space Agency. And this is more than science, it's also a symbol of international partnership. But Günther, a bit more about the James Webb Space Telescope, what this means.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah, this is the day that we have all been waiting for so long, and now it's happening. You know, James Webb is a fantastic machine, and its infrared eyes are 3 times sharper than the Hubble Space Telescope, and they're 100 times more sensitive. So with these infrared eyes, you can peer into dark, obscured regions in our universe. You can look at the very first phases of the universe after the Big Bang. You can look at planets in our own solar system and around other stars. And it is indeed a once-in-a-lifetime chance, almost like the moon landing for astronomy. And it will actually feed many, many careers. It has already shaped a whole new generation of scientists, and this will continue. It's a masterpiece for international cooperation, as Joseph had said. We are working with NASA and the Canadian Space Agency, and this is actually in tradition to Hubble, to Cassini-Huygens, where NASA is leading and ESA is partnering. But we are also opposite, having missions where ESA is leading and NASA is partnering, like for instance, Bepi Colombo, JUICE, the Euclid spacecraft, and so on. So ESA, the science program, is actually enabling the European scientists to lead in a number of discrete fields, and one of the important fields is, for instance, astrometry with Gaia, where we are really having a leadership position. And now James Webb. James Webb will answer a lot of questions, even some questions which we do not even know about yet.
Talking of NASA and what we do here, I mean, of course, we have many contributions in the James Webb Space Telescope. We have instruments, 1.5 instruments that we are providing. We have a science team that is working with NASA and the other partners. But one event was very special, and which was the launch of the James Webb on Christmas Day from Kourou on Ariane 5. And this was really a very important event for us. Not only is NASA entrusting this James Webb Space Telescope to us, of ESA, but also the insertion of the James Webb Space Telescope into orbit was so precise that scientists have a much longer lifetime of the James Webb Space Telescope, actually doubled the lifetime. And this is really fantastic, because this really shows also that our space transportation technology, in addition to the science technology, is just outstanding, and very proud and very happy about that.
So go Webb, go.
Go Webb, go.
Our next video is from the Canadian Space Agency, and this is from the President, Lisa Campbell.
Hello, everyone. Today marks a major milestone in the Webb Space Telescope mission, as we're about to witness Webb's unprecedented view of the universe. Webb promises to be the next giant leap in space astronomy. We're confident that the observatory will exceed expectations. Bold, important missions like this are only possible through strong international collaboration. This one-of-a-kind mission is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together, and Webb is truly a global effort. Congratulations to our partners, NASA and the European Space Agency. Thousands of brilliant minds around the world are behind the design, launch, and operation of this complex space telescope. The Canadian Space Agency is honored to be part of Webb. Canadian specialists across industry and academia united their efforts to provide our instruments. Canada's fine guidance sensor will keep Webb perfectly aligned during all of its observations. And the nearest instrument will observe the earliest galaxies and perform in-depth analysis of the most promising exoplanets. For the science community in Canada and across the world, having access to data collected by Webb will lead to unexpected discoveries. Webb will not only help us work out long-awaited answers to age-old questions, it will also inspire new, cutting-edge research that leads the way to our cosmic origins. Congratulations to all who made these imminent discoveries possible.
If it wasn't for years of steadfast congressional support, this extraordinary project wouldn't have been able to get off the ground. So it's fitting that we have representatives from Team Maryland joining us. And let me clarify, these gentlemen are not just representatives. They are friends of NASA Goddard. Please join me in welcoming Maryland's 5th Congressional District Majority Leader of the United States House of Representatives, Steny Hoyer, Senator Ben Cardin, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and the Representative Trone from Maryland's, David Trone from Maryland's 6th Congressional District.
Thank you very much, Michelle. It's good to be here with astronaut Nelson. So sorry you're sick, Andrew. All of us have fought. Hubble was at risk. Goddard was at risk. Webb was at risk. This day gives a new meaning to as far as the eye can see. The vision of the world is greater today than it was yesterday. And it will redound to the benefit of all the peoples of this earth. What a wonderful day. I want all of you who have worked on this project to stand up. Stand up. All right, you're using our time. America thanks you, and the world community thanks you. Our time is short. Let me yield to the senior senator from Maryland, my dear friend Ben Cardin, who has fought so hard, along with Barbara Mikulski, to make this day happen.
Thank you, Steny. First, I'm very excited. This event is out of this world. How many times have I said that? I can really mean it this time. We are so proud of the role that Maryland has played. You heard Michelle mention all the different organizations and government agencies and institutions and private. So many of them are located in Maryland. Steny already acknowledged the incredible workforce. We know the 20th century will be known for space exploration by Neil Armstrong's steps on the moon. The 21st century will be led by the work done by the James Webb Telescope. This is an incredible moment. It's now back to the future, and we're going to be part of it.
Chris Van Hollen.
Well, it's great to be back here at Goddard, and thank all of you who have been part of this team. You know you've made it when you have your own cheerleading squad. As somebody who was briefly a physics major but bailed out after quantum mechanics, I want to thank all the scientists and the engineers and everybody who stuck with it to bring us to this brilliant day. This is a great day for humanity, peering further back into time, deeper into our universe, answering some questions that are fundamental to who we are and how we got here. Thank all of you from around the world, because this was an international endeavor. And while there were bumps along the way, once the launch happened, everything had to go perfectly. And it did because of all of you. I do want to say Maryland is proud, at least on this day, to be the center of the universe. And thank you. Thank you to Goddard. Thank you to the Space Telescope. And we're going to continue to invest in this mission and so many others, along with my friend David Trone, who's also on the Appropriations Committee in the House of Representatives.
So thank you all very much for this incredible moment in scientific history, and space exploration is what connects us all. And that's what's so fantastic about it. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone.
5.
But if you want to go far, go together. And this team has gone together. So thank you and congrats.
This telescope is by far the largest science endeavor NASA has ever undertaken, and it required a huge network of companies from around the world to build it. Northrop Grumman led that team and helped NASA and its European and Canadian partners to achieve the success we see today. To help celebrate that success, we have a special message from Northrop Grumman CEO, Kathy Warden.
On behalf of the entire Northrop Grumman team, congratulations to the space and science communities around the world on what will be the first of many exciting and truly historic Webb missions to come. These incredible images, never before seen by humankind, carry us further than we've ever gone before, and we're just getting started. The extraordinary telescope represents a new era in human discovery, and equally important, it represents the engineers, technicians, scientists, and the countless other teams that have come together to define possible. Our work, the technology we've created, and the images it captures will inspire the next generation of thinkers, innovators, and problem solvers. This is the true legacy of Webb. Thank you, and congratulations.
As I said before, it took companies from around the world to get Webb in space. Right now, we're going to hear from the CEO of Ariane Space, Stefan Israel, with a message he would like to share with you.
Webb, an incredible adventure we at Ariane Space were honored to be part of. A 20 years collective challenge that finally brought us together in Kourou with Dr. Z, Greg Robinson, Joseph Aschbacher, Daniel Nunschwander, and Philippe Baptiste on a Christmas morning we'll never forget. 27 minutes and 11 seconds, which will be among the most important of our lives. After a perfect launch with our Ariane 5, which has doubled the Webb lifespan, and such a long journey, we are now on the verge of discovering images that will revolutionize our understanding of the universe. A game changer created by the collective work of passionate and brilliant people from USA, Europe, and Canada. To these dedicated teams, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your trust in Ariane that made this incredible adventure possible. Go Webb.
All right, guys. We're only a few minutes away from seeing the first images, but before that, I would be remiss if we didn't take an opportunity to let those that led the way have an opportunity to say a few things. We have the Webb Program Director, Greg Robinson, Northrop Grumman's Webb Program Manager, Scott Willoughby, and last but certainly not least, the Webb Project Manager, Bill Oakes.
I didn't get to tell the prompter, so I'll just I'll just wing it. So I will say when I came up the stairs, by the time I got to the top, I wanted to throw off the jacket and run out to the 50-yard line. So thank you for that welcome. I don't know what I would have done when I got there. So who did not see that image yesterday? Well, as the old saying goes, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just hang around a little bit longer. I just want to do a couple of quick thank yous. You've heard from most of them. Thanks to the entire team, certainly the Goddard-led project team, Northrop Space Telescope Science Institute, and our international partners. Also, I want to thank, I call it the ninth floor, the NASA administrator and his team, and the White House and Congress. All of us are part of this, and when I say team, I mean everyone from beginning to end. And we all had to be aligned to make this happen, as Thomas often reminds me. So thanks for all of that. I want to do a couple of special thanks. Special thanks to Scott Willoughby for leading the team out at Northrop, Bill Oakes for leading the overall team, and I know both of them will say more about their teams and the capability of the spacecraft. And a special thank you to Thomas. I often say twisting both of my arms to get me to take over this, to be part of this incredibly smart and resilient team. So thank you, and thanks for coming.
It's humbling to be here at Goddard. My team from Northrop Grumman spent a lot of time here and at many of the NASA centers and other places around this country. But this is where relationships were forged, and it's relationships that built the James Webb Space Telescope. And it's been a common theme here for a purpose, right? The international relationships, the government industry relationships, but the relationships that are dearest to me are the ones that took place on the floors of the high bays and in the meeting rooms and debating hard problems. And sometimes those answers weren't certain as much as engineering wants to be, and you're using judgment and people's guts and brilliance to make decisions that led to perfection. And what Bill and I did throughout all of this was really kind of singular. It was giving that team power. And I just kind of leave with a phrase that I used back when we were getting into the final build of Webb, when people were putting this together, that every human who touched this for the last time should know you get that privilege. And you get to bring your pride to the floor to do that. But you have to check your ego, because pride is powerful. But somebody's going to ask you a question, did you do it right? And somebody's going to look at a picture when you did it and see, was it right? And somebody else was going to review that and stamp that it was right. And every single person mattered in that. And in the end, it was perfect. So thank you. And working with Bill was really a relationship that's going to last a lifetime, over a decade. I think we broke the record for industry-government partnership. We're not supposed to be together for 10 years, but we were. Bill.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'm the cleanup, typical job for a project manager. First, just a little update on the observatory. Over the weekend, we finished the last commissioning activity, so we are officially done with commissioning. We have an observatory that is in excellent shape, that either meets or exceeds requirements. And as mentioned earlier, we have 20+ years of fuel on board. And finally, we have actually started our first year of normal science operations, and that is now in full swing. So, as the old saying goes, it takes a village. Well, with Webb, it actually took a town of about 20,000 people over a period of 20+ years across 29 US states and 14 countries. And even more, if you add to that number the family, the friends, the significant others, et cetera, who supported Webb, they are also part of that Webb team. You cannot really single out any one person for the success of Webb, but everyone here should know that as you see each image, you are a part of that image. We would not be successful without your contributions to the Webb program. When I see these images, I see four things. I see dedication, and I have never seen dedication on this project like I have seen on any other mission I have worked. I see personal sacrifice of so many individuals that my heart is just overwhelmed with pride for the folks on this program. Finally, also I see passion. I've never seen the passion for this program, and that's what helps with the first two things I mentioned. Finally, I just see the faces of all our individuals who have worked on this program, both the past and the present, and neither myself nor NASA will ever be able to thank these persons enough. And finally, on a more personal note, the Webb team itself, we are all going to be bonded for the rest of our lives by the Webb experience. And I have to thank you for the privilege that you have allowed me to be part of that experience. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Thank you and congratulations, gentlemen. And congratulations to all of you once again. Today, we celebrate you and your achievements. Now listen, I'm sure you're excited to see exactly what Webb will show us. So here's the plan. We're going to take a quick break, but as you all at home can see the countdown clock, we're literally minutes away from the reveal. Are you all still excited? It has been my absolute pleasure spending this time with you. We can't wait to share what humankind is capable of, and we are just getting started. Let's enjoy this journey. Now, on the count of 3, I want you all to scream, "Go Webb." 1, 2, 3. Go Webb!